Welcome to the house, the one they talking about. Word of mouth, the Boxing Playhouse, without a doubt. All the latest and greatest boxing news, that's what it's all about.
What's up? What's up? This is Sakura A, and I'm here with Emilio Santana.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
Oh, and this is Boxing Playhouse's After Dark series. And boy, we got a show for you tonight because we got some former champions in the house. We got, amazing prospects. We got coach extraordinaires. It's just going to be amazing. And of course, first things first, we got our hot topics. We got to talk about what's going on next week and the following week and in boxing in general. So first, I want to go ahead and welcome to our show the amazing and handsome and just all around great guy is our former world champion, Kelly Pavlik.
Oh, that was all for me.
The ghost.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Thank you.
You like it?
I usually don't get called handsome, so I mean.
Oh yeah, that's right.
How you guys?
Like that.
How you guys doing?
How you guys? How are you doing tonight, Kelly?
I'm doing good. Just staying busy and doing my thing, trying to get set up here. And sorry, I was running and I actually Roger called me and then I seen that, so I'm not missing it though.
Oh, no problem, and thanks so much for your time and the short notice. We appreciate it.
Oh,
but we're about to get into all things Lomo versus Tio, and we needed some expert opinions on here to really get some insight into these two boxers and, why choose one over the other. Are you ready for that?
I am. It's I think it's really big for the sport, especially being on free TV, ESPN, and everything else. There's a lot of hype behind this fight, and I think both fighters did a good job building it up and finally getting it to come together. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think that it is great for the sport too. Well, the only thing I could really complain about is that I wish there was a little bit more promos that was, across the cable spectrum for, the older audience to really know that it's going to be on ESPN. And I got to give credit to ESPN because they really have been pushing this event on their networks. But, we want to make sure that we can grab some of these fans that's, need to be activated from the past and bring them back onto the free channel to see Lomachenko versus Lopez as well.
Yeah, you're 100% right on that. I think the big issue, the disconnect with a lot of these older fans is the fact of how boxing kind of moved towards the pay-per-view. And they also, a lot of times I see a lot of these newer fighters get no respect when in all reality, these guys, the last 15, 20 years have actually been fighting top opposition, but they don't get the recognition for it. It's kind of like if you weren't a fighter of yesteryear, you're irrelevant to them. And it kind of makes me mad because there's so much talent out there. Every weight class has so much depth and talent that it's amazing right now. It goes on from lightweight to welterweight to super middleweight and light heavyweight. So, but I think the big disconnect also came a part of what your local television and your inside channels and things like that. Back in the day, they used to play them. They used to have them on USA Tuesday Night Fights, CBS. Very accessible to get to these fights. And now, you got guys that are in their 60s. They don't know how to get to DAZN. They don't know about ESPN Plus, the app.
Right.
And I think that kind of hurts a little bit to us younger guys. It's good. I think those apps are fantastic because they're really not expensive to catch some world title fights. But, when you're putting type fights like this on regular ESPN, that helps out a lot.
Kelly, you made me think back to the Wild World of Sports days. Remember that?
Yeah, I was young for that, but I do remember it.
Remember how they used to make you wait all afternoon? You had to watch skiing or bowling or some car racing, and then the fight come on there.
I got into it when I really started. Like I said, we used to have, for me, Tuesday night fights. I was a young teenager, and you would have those USA fights. I mean, it seemed like the same guys. Poor Winky Wright, Bronco McCart, and
Right.
Ralph Tiger Jones was fighting all the time on that. So,
and Tarver too.
Yeah, Tarver fought a couple times. Yep. There's some good talent.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. That's a little bit out of my age range, guys, but I remember the Wide World of Sports. I do, because I used to like to watch gymnastics on there. By then, it was like the boxing had already moved to like an HBO platform, premium, right on the end of that.
No, they used to show a lot of good fights on that Wide World on CBS and those stations there. So
yeah. Then you had the Sports Sundays. Remember, James Scott used to fight from Rawway State Prison.
No, I see that I don't remember.
You remember that?
Yeah,
that was like on Sports Sunday. James Scott, they used to televise live from the prison, Rawway State.
Wow.
I wonder if you can still catch some of those episodes on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably got some on YouTube. Some of his fights.
I have to check that out.
I want to see that again. Like, I want to see some prison fights now.
You can find everything on YouTube.
Live. They were pro fights, but they was televised from prison because the dude was doing time.
Wow.
He was fighting regular guys that wasn't in jail though.
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta have some pull to do that kind of thing now. Like,
yeah, he's probably the godfather of streaming. So,
well, before we start our competition, we want to get into the competitive spirit for Lomo and Teofimo. We got to introduce your favorite guy and extraordinaire coach, Roger Romo.
Hey.
Rogelio, where you at? Well,
I don't know how to use technology.
Came up here.
Oh, he popped in.
Roger he's frozen. Let's see.
He's not too good with technology. You gotta write it down for him. You gotta write the instructions down for him and put pictures by it.
Yeah, Kelly, we've heard about our legendary friendship, and I saw a video of him, like Romo, like really young, and he's talking about how he loves to, like, get into these beefs with you.
Oh yeah, man.
And you guys were both young back then. I mean, you guys used to spar together out here.
Yeah, he's Roger's like a brother to me. I mean, he's more than just a friend, he's like a brother. So yeah, we had fun, man. It was great times, and it was like the first day we met, it was just like right there on the spot. We just became buddies. But he was used to like walking in and meeting world champion caliber fighters. His brother was Fernando Vargas, so that was another cool thing. Like, it wasn't a awe shock to him, or like anything like that. So it was genuine.
We got William Hunter from Right Hook Promotions out of Biloxi, Mississippi. And he says cable used to only have like 30 channels when I was a kid. USA always had boxing on. Now basic cable comes with 150 plus bullshit channels. So even if boxing is on and you're not a fan, good luck.
Who remembers the TV with the two knobs and you had to put it on either U or 3, and then you had to turn the other knob and it'll go brrr, and you had to get it over to that right station to find a fight or to find anything.
Hey, what's up, Rogelio?
What's going on, man? This Wi-Fi is acting up over here. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's okay. No problem. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I mean, you're a busy cat. I seen your IG page and I was just like amazed at all these amazing boxes that's in your staple now that you're helping to train.
It kind of just happened overnight, man. I was just dedicating myself to helping people and and putting myself out there to be picked up by people, and it just started happening, and now I got a few world champions, and I don't plan on stopping. I plan on making more, and I think all that experience that I have in this sport. I mean, just like Kelly was talking about when I met him, we were friends from the second we met, and that experience, things like that have carried on and have made me a better trainer, and I'm beyond grateful for where I am right now, and God willing, I think we'll get further than that.
Absolutely. And I'm one that's like, very, very proud of your work because, it's not always an easy road when you got like a legendary last name like that and you want to make your own way, your own lane. And
Exactly.
that you're able to do that and you've done like an amazing job.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
I saw you on Kelly. Well, before I saw you on Kelly, he was talking about him and James were actually in a conversation talking about how you took like 5 young men to box over in Russia, and everybody came home with winning. Like, how did that happen?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, what happened is they wanted me there to help these guys. These guys were struggling with the trainers over there, and they asked if I would go, and I said, if the money's right, of course. So I went, and they all won. That was one situation. That was in Russia, and then last year the same situation happened in Kazakhstan. That's where Triple G's from. So I went out there, helped 5 guys out there. They all won too. Every time I've worked a corner, I've won. I haven't lost in the corner yet. So.
You're good luck. Yeah.
Yeah. So I put a lot of myself into these people, and that's why they always want me back. They always want me to go back. They coach, they've learned a bit of English, and it's always, coach, when you coming back? Coach, when you coming back? And I wish I could be everywhere, but I can't. I gotta stay here now. I got my guy Patrick. He's got the WBO at super welterweight. So we're trying to set up. He's got his title defense in December for his mandatory, and God willing, we could get that fight with Charlo. I mean, that's a tough fight, but I mean, there'll be one champion after that one. So we're trying to set that fight up at super welter. So, I got to stay here for a bit, and then maybe I can travel a bit again after that.
Wow, and congratulations on that success too. I mean, I haven't been able to see Patrick really well. Yeah. I saw that he did have that title, and I was like, well, who is Patrick? Now I get to put that name with who the coach is.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Kelly, what do you think it is that makes Mr. Rogelio such a great trainer?
He's got lucky, right place, right time.
No. It's like he did the stab and then the twist of the
knife. He like he said, Roger and me and James talked about this on our show. Roger, he's just not a trainer. Like you have trainers, and then you have coaches. Okay. Roger, when the same thing I do with some of my young guys, when I show him something, when Roger does it, he breaks it down. There's reasoning why. He's telling you why. A trainer can put you through training and show you how to box, but a coach is explaining to you why they're doing this with you, and he has game plan. He takes it serious. He's a student of the game. Before he even started coaching, Roger was a student of the game. And that translates over, a lot of fighters are students. Most fighters are students of the game, but some just have a hard time showing it. Just like you have great basketball. Michael Jordan may not be the best basketball coach though, because he just has a hard time showing it. And Roger, on the other hand, is not like that. So Roger explains it. He knows the game inside out, and he's a repetitious type guy with his fighters, and he installs greatness. I mean, his guys can fight. And like he said, when I was joking about luck, some trainers are in the right place at the right time. Roger has been showing, I told him before, I was like, man, get out there, put that shit on Instagram, put that shit on Facebook, because they are winning. I mean, he's going out, he's working with them, and they are producing, and you cannot hide that fact. And I think a little more oomph or a little kick in the ass, can really get Roger a huge stable like some of these other coaches have, and he's just that far away right now.
Yeah, he always tells me that. He always does, and I'm really hesitant to do that. I mean, I like to let my work speak for itself. I don't want to be that guy that's just trying to hype himself up all day on social media. I let my work talk. I mean, I started working with Dillashaw.
I get you, Roger. I get you.
know.
I'm sorry, I'm not interrupting. I'm just saying I
Yeah.
get that. Like but it's one thing if you're out training a couple guys that just got off of work at Walgreens and you're taking them to the gym and they won their local amateur show. You know, but you're working with world-class fighters that are ranked in the top in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's mixed martial arts or boxing. So it's not. I mean, you're just putting it out there. It's business.
You know, I'll put it out there, but I just don't like to be that guy. You know what I mean? I think within boxing circles, I think true heads and even the great trainers now. I mean, Freddie Roach has, when he's seen me, he goes, "I see you. You told me. I see you. You're next. You're next." So when someone like that tells you that, you're like, okay, well then maybe I am doing all right. So I don't, as long as I got the respect from these guys coming, and the first guy, that guy packed the shit out of it, my guy from Brazil, the first guy. So what's crazy is we have to fight Robert Garcia's guy, and that's who I grew up with, training with. His dad, he trained my brother. It's like we got to fight them for my first world title, and of course it's a little awkward. But you know what? I'm not gonna freeze. I'm not gonna be a deer in headlights. I'm gonna take it on, and I'm gonna say we're gonna win, and we won. And anytime, like I said, anytime I'm in a corner, I haven't lost. I'm not gonna lose. I don't plan on losing for a very long time. I plan on being the best trainer out there, and I'm gonna let my work speak for itself. And just like Kelly said, he said it's not just boxing, it's MMA. I worked with a guy that Juan Archuleta. He just won the Bellator world title. He just won a Bellator world title. I set up the game plan. He followed it to a T, and he won his first Bellator. He won his world title. He hit me up. He's like, "We're fighting Sergio Pettis next. If you can study him, coach, got you. Easy work. Let's go." So.
Oh, all right. I thought you were there with the MMA. How do you pronounce his last name again?
Archuleta. Juan Archuleta. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a bantamweight Bellator world champion. He trains with TJ Dillashaw. They all work with each other. Him and Cub Swanson, they all work.
You got to exaggerate the H.
Okay,
yeah.
Dillashaw. That's the one that I saw you with on IG.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you got some nice work in that gym.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
Well, when you two were young, I mean, you both were very handsome, and I want to know which one of y'all had more ladies.
Hey, Roger, she said I was handsome first.
Well, that's fine.
I got
but I stayed handsome
back in the day.
Roger.
Roger.
No, not at all. Not at all. I was too focused on training.
Well, we got Amanda Swenson. She says, "Sakura, you're right, girl. Kelly is handsome."
All right.
See, Keltron? What you flexing over there for, Kelly? You ain't got nothing.
I know that's why the part was cut out.
What you flexing for?
Okay, I wanted you guys to talk about some of y'all what your most memorable fights. Kelly, I know you got some, and then Roger, he got some too.
Kelly, you never fought Bronco McCart, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's why when we were talking about the USA fights, it was hard because I grew up watching him. All them guys, like even Winky. There was talks of me fighting him, and that would have been kind of hard because you grew up watching them guys. Yeah, I fought Bronco. It was a good fight. It was an experienced fight for me, and I went in there and did what I was supposed to do, and I I had fun in that fight. It was I learned a lot, and it was a good fight. I was comfortable in there, but I got a lot of respect. I like Bronco. He's a good dude.
Wow.
Okay, well, tell me who is your favorite fight or your most, I ain't gonna say favorite, I'll say your most memorable fight, Kelly.
I would have to probably say Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah, because that it was the world title fight. It was the one that got me where I'm at. But a close one to that I would have to say is Miranda because of the whole situation going in. People seem to forget, Edison Miranda at the time was the most feared guy in the sport, most avoided, most talked about. And I mean, hell, he was so talked about when I was going to fight him, he forgot that I was fighting him. He was talking about Taylor. And after Taylor's fight, I had to ask at the press conference, I had to look, I go, am I fighting tomorrow? What the fuck?
Wow.
I remember that fight too. I remember
Columbia,
that.
right? Kelly?
Yeah, but they knew me, so.
Wow. You know what, Kelly? I was talking about that earlier with this Lomo and Teofimo situation where both of them are already calling out other guys or talking about who they would fight next. I mean, is that a good strategy to you as a boxer? I mean, how do you feel about that? Looking over the opponent you have right in front of you.
I don't agree with it. I never got the concept of that. I never got the part where opponents call each other bums before they fight each other. And then after the fight, they want all the credit for it. And then they just got them calling their guy a bum. I mean, before my fights, if I was fighting a guy 0-1, you better believe I'm going to build that son of a bitch up to be the best fighter in the world. I'm going to have every excuse, well, he was 0-1, but the guy was on steroids or whatever, I would have fine. You build them up, these guys, they kind of get in the habit. And to me, there's guys that talk, and I get it. It's marketing. It's getting themselves out there. Everybody has a different strategy. I was always quiet, and most of your guys that are always quiet are your mean ones. Not saying I'm mean, but in the ring, they're the ones that go in, take care of business. So those are the quiet ones. And overlooking, no. I mean, I always, every time you step in that ring, anything can happen. A night can be ruined quickly, and there ain't nobody in there to you can't call timeout and bring in a substitute. So I think they should really focus on what's in front of them.
Absolutely. And Roger, what do you think about that? Calling out other opponents.
I think a lot of it is strategic. I think it's stupid, but I mean, because you should always focus on the job at hand. You should never look past somebody because one bad hit, that's it. Your night's over. Your career can be over. Your life can be over. So a lot of this overlooking stuff, I think that's more of a new generation type thing. I think that I mean, look at Floyd. Floyd used to do the same. What Kelly said. He used to glamorize his opponents. He used to make them sound like they were the best and they were in their prime and they were this and it makes you look that much better when you beat them. When these guys are doing that, I see Teofimo. Teofimo's talking a lot, and I don't know if it's because it's his first time on the big stage this way. And he's trying to hype himself up, or he's just being out of his character, which is kind of scary if you're out of your character in this type of fight, because this isn't an easy fight. This isn't a fight that is just going to be a pushover and you're going to hit him once and that's it. It's over. Nah, this guy, Loma, we got to work with him for many years. With my partner, Cecilia Flores, he's a beast. And I there's a lot of factors in this fight. I see a lot of I mean, Loma could get old in a fight or two. He's in his 30s.
That's
Teofimo's
true.
Teofimo's got youth and strength on his side. So
that's what I've been explaining to people. With Loma, that's the only thing that got me a little concerned and as far as picking, because different styles, like a Triple G type guy, a Charlo, they could, with the power they got, they could be in their mid 30s, late 30s, and still be somewhat in contention because of how they fight and their style and the power that they have. Even if it's not a one knockout, it's something that they could change a game plan with one hit. Lomachenko, on the other hand, he is getting older and at a high level against a guy like Teofimo, who's solid all around. And when you Lomachenko, if you lose that much, his whole style is based around reaction time and speed. So that could
banks on that.
Yeah, it could be a difference.
Hey, I'm sitting here drinking, and I was thinking, man, was you ever on Fight Night?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I got some. I get called all the time.
Fight Night. I wasn't sure.
My boy Lonnie calls me all the time and wants me. it'll be 10 o'clock at night. And he's like, "You want your ass whooped? Get on." And I'll get on there.
Oh, wow.
And he uses me to beat me. He beats me with me.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. I was going to say, I mean, people forget that Lomachenko is actually, got all these, all those amateur fights behind him. Like, that's a lot of road work when now you're professional. And, I'm just noticing how he doesn't like move around as much as he used to at the lower weight. So that has me like concerned, as you were speaking on, Kelly.
What's that?
I said that also had me concerned and making me, it's making me like, I'm going for Tio. I think Tio is going to win.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why what you mentioned about, he could be old in a few minutes, or the slower legs, and
Yeah, it could. I think more of that comes from an amateur. Also, a lot of them guys, it's a hit system in amateur boxing, and I think for most guys, anything over 200 and some amateur fights is a lot. Usually, a lot of times they have a hard time breaking that style, and that's why you see a lot of your top amateurs never really panned out in the pros, more so than have. It's but with Loma, I think it's different because Loma's still really, even at the high level, if you go back, you can find him on YouTube. I mean, he avoided some of the wars in there. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of fights, it's wear and tear, but there's shorter rounds in amateurs, and he's one of the very few. If it hasn't showed up 2 years ago, I don't think it's anything that's going to affect his career. Now, if he was getting hit a lot and things like that, then eventually, it's starting to take its toll. But I don't know if that would, for most fighters. You are right, though. I mean, 400 amateur fights, some of them guys are punchy by the time they sign their pro contract.
Right.
And, not trying to be mean, but it's the truth. I mean, I think that's way too many fights. Unless you're an Olympic guy who plans on making a great amateur career and making a lot of money off of sponsorships, off your gold medals,
Hey, Kelly, I was just thinking, that Super 6, you weren't in the Super 6, huh?
No, actually, that was going on when we were getting ready to make that fight with Andre Ward, and when he hurt his shoulder, and it was hard because I was too late to enter that. They already started doing that tournament, so, and I was still, for the most part, when I was really getting put together, I was still campaigning at middleweight.
Oh, okay. Right.
Okay. All right. And then, Roger, you didn't never tell us what was your most memorable fight that you had.
Me, I mean, I didn't have too many. I had about 7 or 8 fights, but I mean, I think I'm a better trainer.
And you've sparred a lot of people too, back in the day too.
I'm sorry, it was cutting out a little bit. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, we can still hear you. I was saying that you sparred a lot of people as well. I mean, is there anyone who sparred you and you like felt their power and you was like, besides Kelly, because we know he got something going on.
Yeah, no. I mean,
who else?
I mean, I remember sparring Kelly was something else. Because I mean, like I got to hear what he was saying before I jumped on, and he was saying that when I met him, I mean, he didn't know, but I was a fan. You know what I mean? I was a fan of Kelly. I was probably the only fan that went for him when he fought Jermaine Taylor out here in Oxnard. So when I met him, and then when I got to spar with him, I was tripping out. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, fuck, I'm sparring Kelly Pavlik. He's my boy, but I'm sparring Kelly Pavlik. And when he hit me once, I had to fucking talk shit to him because he cracked me. He cracked me good. But I told him, I go, that's it. I go, my brother hit harder than you. But fucking deep down inside, I was like, that shit hurt.
Wow.
So
yeah.
But
other
yeah.
people talk about his power. They like,
Oh, yeah, no. The thing is that Kelly, a lot of people slept on. I mean, me and Kelly had some great sparring sessions. A lot of people would sleep on the fact that Kelly could box. People think that if Kelly was just a straight ahead type fighter, he's just waiting for power. But if Kelly wanted to box with you, he'll box. He'll get fast. He'll get crisp. He'll give you some movement. He'll touch. He was really slick. a lot of people think that he just won a world title with power. Nah, Kelly, Kelly had a lot of ring generalship. Kelly was very intelligent in the ring, and people don't know that. But I was able to witness it firsthand, and I learned a lot from Kelly. There's a lot of stuff I learned from Kelly. I mean, not just from boxing, just life in general. Me and Kelly we'll stay on the phone for hours at a time. So, to me, I mean, as memorable fight, I didn't have really many. My first one was probably the best one. My pro debut was on ESPN. Fernando the next day fought Trinidad. Fernando was doing his interview, and he was doing an interview while I was fighting. I hurt the guy. And, I knock him out. Fernando throws his earphones off and jumps in the ring with Robert Garcia. And so that was the most memorable thing. But I had more memorable sparring sessions than anything. And the sparring session probably with Kelly was the most memorable for me.
Oh, Roger, what weight you fought?
What's up, my man?
What weight you fought at?
I fought at 68.
Oh, super middleweight.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you tripped me out because you was like my first fight, and you to my ESPN.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, that's an excellent start.
Was that a swing belt?
No, it wasn't. It actually they were hyping it. They were hyping it up because the next day Fernando was fighting Trinidad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I got on my pro debut, but it was a swing belt, so my hands were numb. I was gloved up
no.
8 hours before the fight.
Yeah, they do that. That's the worst. Those swing belts are the worst, man. That's the worst.
Quarterman gonna come over, pull my trunks down, so I go bathroom and all
that.
Yeah.
Oh no!
But I got on ESPN.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Has bare knuckle fighting champions hit you up about doing bare knuckles?
I was asked about it.
I knew it.
Yeah. I'm content, eating some barbecue and sitting around lifting some weights. You know what I mean? I don't need no knuckles or anything like that, so I'm good.
Kelly, your last fight, how far did you go? Did you ever make it to light heavyweight?
Yeah, actually, the Hopkins fight was considered a light heavyweight fight, and
I didn't even know that.
Then I fought Lopez at light heavyweight, and then the rest were at
super middle, right?
Yeah.
Super middleweight. The Bernard fight. What can you tell us about that, man? How was that experience?
I hate to go on it, but after all these years, it ain't gonna hurt me. I mean, I'm not ever fighting again, but it just it wasn't my night. Bernard is a fantastic fighter. He's one of the smartest. I think he's, in my opinion, probably the best middleweight of all time. And it just sucked that it was not. Well, yeah, you see what he did, how many title defenses and all that.
Yeah,
he was a big, good, fast middleweight. He was smart. I think his footwork. A lot of people think footwork. You gotta look like Hector Camacho or guys like that, Pernell Whitaker, but you don't. I think footwork is being in the right place at the right time and making the right moves. And if you watch, Bernard Hopkins and Andre Ward were really good like that, and Mikey Garcia. But that night, that was not an 80% Kelly Pavlik. It's well documented actually with Robert Garcia. Just unfortunately, that happened against Hopkins. I don't use other fights as a measuring stick. I never do. Styles make fights, but what I can say is I did beat Jermaine twice, and Jermaine beat Hopkins twice. Controversial or not, they were obviously close fights. And for Hopkins to beat me the way he did tells you that was not Kelly Pavlik that night. Now, if I would have went in there and won like 4 rounds, and some of them were kind of close, but he won, 8 rounds to 4. Well, then you could say the better man, that he won that night and the Styles make fights and he beat me. But for him to go and me look like that, that goes to show you that wasn't, exactly me. But overall, with Hopkins, though, do I take anything away from him? Absolutely not. I mean, would I have won that fight if I was 100%? I don't know. I can't answer that, but I can tell you that it would not have been like it was. It would have been a lot more competitive. So with that being said, he's smart. He was tricky. He did certain things, and he was a great fighter.
Kelly, your co-host is up here making comments. James Dominguez, he says, "Hey, ladies." And then he says, "My family, Kel and Roger." All
That's
right.
right. That's right.
Right.
And then Clarence, he says, "I thought Bernard and Kelly were going to kill each other after the fight."
No, he was. You know what? That's another thing with Bernard. I mean, I think I was like one of the few fighters that he didn't talk no crap before the fight. He was respectful after the fight, and I got to see him for the first Triple G Canelo fight, and he was just super cool. Came up, gave me a hug, and I think that's great sportsmanship and just a great dude in general. I mean, when you could do that after all the mirrors, and no matter what's being said, I'm sure he heard some of my interviews about after the fight, and I didn't say anything discrediting him, just saying it was not me that night, and I'm not lying about that. But it's he's just a nice guy, and it was cool to see that and to be able, because no matter what, you share in boxing. That's a lot when you get in the ring with somebody. You go through a lot, and there's a lot of nerves even for 2 months leading up to that fight, and to be close. And I think we understand, what it's like, and it's cool. It's a nice thing.
Hey,
I had a question for you.
I was gonna say, Kelly, the words Bernard said when he said a white guy would never beat him, they came back and bit him in the ass, huh?
Well, hey, we
got knocked over there too.
Yeah,
Out of the ring. You forgot the out of the ring part. Like, whoa. Damn.
Sure, though, he was rolling down in the wheelchair on that one. So.
He tried to hold on one fight too many. That's what happened.
That's something to say, man.
Kelly, I was gonna ask
he figured out that his silver sneakers wasn't working for that one.
No. So, Kelly, what I was going to ask you too is with this COVID year, I mean, I know I never thought I would see something like this, but you know how these fights get canceled, and then you get a new date and it's canceled, and then you get a new date, and instead of that person being on your opponent being on your mind 2 months, you're now like having to concentrate on this opponent for 6 months. Like, how do you think you would handle that? I mean, is it emotional warfare?
Oh, I could imagine. Yeah. I mean, you're getting ready. That's your date. A lot of fighters look forward to getting the fight over. I mean, not because of nerves, but just the dieting and everything else that, to steady. It's hard, man. It's rigorous. Them training camps is brutal. And not only just physically, but mentally. And then for them to keep postponing, yeah, it could. I give some of these guys credit. Again, I'm going back on it. They talk about all these old school fighters and how they were built different than guys today. I think these guys don't get enough credit. I don't think this new generation gets enough credit. And it's a tough situation for them. And then on top of that, you're fighting in an arena where usually for most fights you work off the fans, and the crowd. And now you're in there and you could hear each other breathe, fart, sneeze, all that is right there. And it's hard.
You were farting in the ring, Kelly? Or
no, you know what I'm saying, man. Don't dig into it. Ain't no need to dig into that one. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's a totally different situation. These guys they're staying strong, I think, in my opinion. I mean, it's tough when you cancel a fight and you're set or you postpone it, and now you got to go even farther. The only good thing that can come out of it is it gives you more time to break down your opponent. That's about it. I can see.
Hey, Kelly, I want to know, you and Roger, who's your favorite fighter, past and present?
Go, Raj.
Shit, I mean, honestly, I'm a big Mayweather fan. Huge Mayweather fan. I like what he did. A lot of people say, "Oh, he hurt the sport." Everybody watched when he fought, though. So I like Mayweather a lot. But I mean, as a kid growing up, I'm sure every Mexican kid went for Julio Chavez. So that's the guys that I liked seeing. Right now, there's a lot to choose from right now. There's it's kind of hard to pick. You know what I mean? I like Tyson Fury's attitude. I like what Deontay Wilder brings to the sport. I like there's just I like Crawford a lot. I like Loma. too many to choose from right now for me. So I like watching it all.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of like with Roger on that. Even growing up, I mean, I never really. A lot of kids had posters, you know, the old KO Digest or the Ring magazine.
Yeah, I remember them
magazines used to come with the posters in there.
Yeah.
Like my buddy who boxed, but he wasn't even like really fighting amateur. He had more of those hung up in his room than I did, who was fighting. And but I followed guys. I like watching. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard was a big one. I always try to catch as much of the old fights on it with him. You know, Toro Gotti was right at my age when I was getting heavy into amateur boxing when he was fighting, and his style was huge. You know, now I would have to say I'm just a fan overall. I mean, Canelo and Crawford really got my eye, but Bivol and Earl Spence before. We'll see where he's at now. I mean, I'm still a fan of Earl. The accident didn't change me being a fan. I just don't know where he's at.
Right.
So like I said, I enjoy it now. Lomachenko, Mikey Garcia, you know, Shakur Stevenson is endless, and these weight classes are endless. And I think this is the one time in boxing where there's so much talent, but just not enough people to follow it because there's no real recognizable names yet. And I again, so yeah, just a lot of people for over the years that I just like watching.
There's one more. There's one more I forgot to mention, and it's kind of biased because he's my nephew, but my Fernando's youngest son, Emiliano Vargas. This kid is gonna change the sport of boxing. This kid is gonna change the sport of boxing. I guarantee it.
Really? Oh my God!
Fight, Roger.
He's right now. He's about 130, but this kid goes. He spars with he spars with everybody. He sparred with he's sparring with a 2-time. Huh?
Could you send him that one sparring session?
I don't know if I can send his sparring session with a 2-time gold medalist. Yeah, he's sparring a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and just putting it on him. And he's only 16. This kid is he'll hit you southpaw. He'll hit you orthodox. He'll come forward. He'll box. This kid's, I mean, he's something else.
All the Fernando's kids can fight, but Milano, he could. Man, this kid.
What's their full name
again? His name is Emiliano Vargas. Emiliano Fernando Vargas.
Oh, I can remember that, right, Emilio?
Just remember Emiliano Zapata. If you can, go onto his Instagram. He's it's under Emiliano F. Vargas. So
I'm already 3 weeks in a Spanish class just to learn how to say his name.
Really, I mean, imagine me. I have people, they think I'm Spanish and they start talking to me in, you know, Spanish, and I'm like, no, I don't speak Spanish, but I do speak Southern.
Yeah, just say see and no. See
and no. I'm scared. I might say the wrong thing. I might be confirming or denying something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, that's true too.
Wow. Okay, somebody is talking about Roger's arms tonight.
What they say about Roger?
Somebody's arms are nice.
Who said that?
Nice arms,
Roger. See, Angela Costa.
Nice
arms, Roger.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I got a couple of garden hoses in my yard like that.
I know I was going to be on the show with Kelly, so.
He knows Kelly. You really know how to get him good on a lot of these. Like, I think
don't let him fool you. He always gets me too. Don't
he's
as nice as you think.
Don't hate, Kelly. Don't hate, bro. Don't hate.
My feelings all the time.
Roger's been killing those weights.
Try to.
Clarence says Roger looks like he's ready to brawl right now.
Let's go. So no. What you guys were talking about COVID? I actually contacted COVID. I had it.
You did?
Yeah, man. I didn't tell anybody. I told Kelly. You know, I was in Florida. I was in Florida working with. I was in Tampa working with my guy.
You know what? I was gonna tell you. I thought I saw you in Plant. You was in Plant City, right?
Yeah. I was out there working with my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there with Kanat Islam, and
okay.
They tested me the second day I was there, and they said I had COVID. I was like, get the fuck out of here! I'm fine. I just ran with Kanat.
What the hell?
So I came home. I quarantined for 2 weeks. I'm good. I tested it again, I'm good. But this shit got me like maybe the 5th day. I was having a little trouble breathing, and it hurt when I would breathe in deep. So I was like, damn, what the hell's going on, man? This shit is real. Like I was trying to get anxiety, but then I kind of had to like tough talk myself. I'm like, don't be a fucking bitch. Let's go, man. Fuck, you know. And yeah, no, it worked. But I said, you know what? I said, I gotta beat this shit. I'm gonna beat it. And everybody's telling me, you know, my mom's telling me, my girl's telling me, my sister, everybody's telling me, go to the hospital, go to the hospital, go to the hospital. So I finally went. They gave me a steroid shot, and an antibiotic, and I was able to breathe within a few hours. And then I just was sweating like profusely for about a day, and then after that, I was back to normal. So, but I lost like 12 pounds of muscle, so I'm back on it this week.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you made it. I mean, I hear a lot. I had one other lady fighter. She was on, Christina Ferreira. And she was talking about how that COVID is real. And she was talking about that same breathing issue. And they let her go home one time because they said she was an athlete and she would be okay.
Yeah.
And then she had to turn around this morning and go back. So, yeah, that's some serious business right there.
When I went to the hospital, they checked my breathing levels. My oxygen level was about 98%, but I had pneumonia. Wow. So yeah, so it attacks your lungs. The shit is no joke, and I think if you have anxiety issues, it'll really mess with you. Luckily, thank God I don't. But man, I was like, man, this shit's no joke. This shit's for real, and you know, it's like it really did feel like a strong flu. You feel lethargic. You feel tired. You feel, you know, unmotivated. But you know, thank God, you know, God is always great, and we beat it, and we're here, you know, we're fine.
Yes, I'm glad of that. And when you know it, you catch it here in Florida.
Yeah, right? Crazy.
Roger, did you give it to anybody else in your family?
My girl, my sister, my brother and his wife actually got it before. They got it like in the beginning when it first came out, like maybe a few months into the whole pandemic. Him and his wife got it. So I was talking to Fernando every day, messaging him, you know, making sure he was fine. He himself, he told me he got nervous. You know, he was praying to God every night, saying, you know, I don't want to check out. I got a lot of living to do. I got a lot of, you know, I got to take care of my boys. And he got nervous, you know, and rightfully so, because we don't know about this stuff in the beginning, you know, when it first came out.
Yeah, like it's still a lot of questions about long-term effects on people. You know, I wish we would start doing research on that as well, or at least documenting more people.
Yeah. And it's crazy. It's real crazy.
And stuff like that. It's not cool.
What's going to end up happening eventually is everybody's going to get it. It's like anything else that's been out there, and that's how you're going to develop our immunities to it. But until then, it's scary when you get it. It is scary. It's just about staying positive and making sure that you take care of yourself and that you rest and you know, and you quarantine. You definitely got to quarantine and make sure you don't infect nobody else, you know?
Absolutely. So thanks for sharing that story with us, because I know it's not easy sometimes, especially with, you know, naysayers out here that don't believe. They be like, oh, how much do you get paid to say that, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
So we're going to get to the main topic tonight, guys. We got a few minutes. I got
to get a charger real quick for my phone. Oh, good. Look at this.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, we're going to go ahead and introduce our guest for tonight, our prospect extraordinaire. You know who I'm talking about, right?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about that Nashville.
Oh, you talking about
Ty. That's right, Ty.
Tomlin.
Ty Tomlin is in the house. He had a short fuse, had a body shot. That's crazy. And then what we're going to do is get everybody's predictions for the Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez bout this weekend. And everybody better tell the truth now. Kelly, don't politics now.
I ain't doing nothing. Nope. Point at Roger.
I know you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. He always tell the truth on his show. Like I like that.
Kelly, who y'all got? Who you and Roger got? Mike or Roy?
Oh, I don't know on that. That's because I don't know if they're doing a real fight, if they're gonna half-ass real fight, or what they're gonna do. I think once we find that out, it'll be easier. But I try breaking it down. Like, Mike Tyson, he's probably got more weed in his lungs than most farms have, on the ground. Roy Jones is 51. Everybody says he's a mover, but let's be honest, is he going to be able to move like he used to? He's 51, So, I mean, it's a really iffy fight if they were to go full go,
Right.
That's the thing that's, I mean, if Mike lands, it's over. I mean, because Roy was going over there to Russia, getting knocked out by guys that were, I mean, had nowhere near the power Mike Tyson has. And that's the last thing to go on a fighter is his power. So if Mike lands, it's curtains for him.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and get Ty Short Fuse Tomlin in the house
Hey,
tonight.
there we go. What's up, guys?
He got his trainer dad. Yeah, what's up, man?
What's up, Playhouse? Thanks for having us.
Hey,
What up?
you know what it is. We love us some Ty. I mean, first we're gonna talk about Lomo versus Tio.
That's gonna be a good one.
Let's start with you guys. Ty, you first.
Well, I posted saying that I think it's going to go the distance. I don't think anybody's getting knocked out in this fight. Of course, Teofimo, young bull coming in, everybody thinks he's going to knock Loma out. But I just think the experience that Loma has, he's not going to get caught early, and the fight's going to go the distance. I've got Lomachenko in like a close majority decision kind of deal. But I already know what my dad's going to say. He thinks Loma was getting knocked out.
Yeah, I got Teofimo. I got Teofimo in 4.
Going all in then, baby.
Yep. You got that young, hungry athlete coming up.
I'll give him that.
There's no substitute for somebody that's young and hungry on the rise. So I look for him to take him out in 4.
Okay. Kelly,
Bold.
tell us what it is, fam. Who you got?
I'm going to sit back and watch this one without taking anybody. I'm leaning towards Loma. Here's a fight that, Teofimo could go in and knock him out. Lomachenko could possibly make him put on his school in 6 rounds, like he's done to all the other good fighters. And Teofimo, I mean, I think he's the real deal. But everybody has a game plan, and everybody says they're going to do stuff to Lomachenko until they get in there. You know what I mean?
It's just like what my shirt says. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
So,
Or until they try catching Loma. And that's exactly. He wants to hit. People. I've seen him live. Loma, when he wants to turn it up and dig his foot into the ground, he can lay it on you. So I don't know.
But for some reason, I thought Kelly and Roger, I thought y'all were gonna be on opposing sides. I didn't think you guys were gonna agree on this point. I kind of felt like Roger was gonna go for Tio for some reason.
I'm going for Tio. I am because.
Oh, okay.
I'm going for him. Yeah, but do I think he's gonna do it? It's a slim to none chance. Just because of the fact I think he's too young, and I think he's letting his emotions get too involved. You can't do that. You can't do that with a guy with this much experience. And I think that the experience is what's gonna pull it off for Loma. Like Kelly said, I wouldn't be surprised if he can make him quit. If Loma makes him quit, or I mean, honestly, what Tyler over there, he said that he'd be he's thinking towards a decision. I think towards the decision myself. I think the experience factor is what's going to get it in this fight.
You know what? I have been thinking that. I've been thinking for a while that they pushed Tio a little too fast, but that does not mean that he don't have a chance to make something connect, man. And I'm telling you right now, I mean, if he's watching, I mean, the angle, like if he can time out one of those angles and Lomo is coming in,
catch himself.
It's gonna be that 4th round that Daryl is talking about.
You just put that heart up that you put up on social media and say Daryl was right when it happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, man.
I haven't seen anybody else do it yet.
I'm gonna say I was right too, right? Okay,
And I think honestly, what Teofimo has to do if he wants to go for that knockout is you have to punch with Lomachenko. You can't wait for him and try to counter him because he's already out of the way. So what you got to do is you got to punch with him, and you might take a hit or two, but if you hit harder than him, your chance is to punch with him, and then you can hurt him. If Linares caught him coming in being careless, if you catch him at the same time he's being careless, that's your opportunity
But
right
the
there.
big
And that's what
issue is
Teofimo has to
this.
do.
The big issue is like what Teofimo's dad was saying. When he was watching the film of Lomachenko on that countdown, he was going, "Look, he's just doing this. He won't be able to do that." Loma don't do the same shit though. He does different things all the time. So you can't really study. There's no study. He's doing different shit all the time. It's hard to time
adaptability.
where he's moving.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say you got to punch at the same time. You got to punch with him. That's why you got to punch with him.
Oh, well, it seems like we got some, kind of agreement, disagreement. I'm gonna let you finish this. Who's winning?
Talking about who I got.
Yeah.
I told you I'm gonna stick with who I got. I said I picked T.O. and I'm gonna stick with him. I think he has the youth, the explosiveness, and I think he might catch no more. I'm gonna stick with him.
I hope he does. Just because of the fact that he let my partner who brought me into the sport again as a trainer, he brought me in. He let him go. That was a strength and conditioning coach, Cecilio Flores. That's like my brother, and you let him go and try to say that we've learned how we can, because they were filming his workouts, and now they're letting some guy that doesn't know shit do the same workouts because they were filming them. Now, personally, I hope you get knocked the fuck out.
Wow, okay. I want to explore that a little bit more. See, you done dropped the damn juice and the tea for me. Now you want to drop it. I got to hear this now. You saying that Flores was actually the strength and conditioning coach for Lomachenko, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And he decided to fire him because of it kind of sounds like I want to go ahead and say it, a bullshit reason. But
Absolutely.
I mean, the way you described it, that's what it sounded like.
No, it isn't. And this is the thing. This is the thing you got to understand is they come over here. They come over here from Russia, from Ukraine, from here. They try to learn everything from us that they can. Correct. They didn't have that. Russians, they're like this. They're straight up. Why do you think they fly me out to Russia and Kazakhstan? Because they want to learn these things. They want to learn these movements. They want to look. If you're going to talk about who put the glove down on a fighter first, that was my brother. If you want to talk about who gave you those pivots, those side steps, watch Fernando Vargas versus Cortez. My brother again. When Loma met me the first time, and they go, "Yeah, this is Fernando Vargas' brother." Loma acted like he met a god. Oh, Vargas, your brother? Oh, yeah. They knew exactly where they got that shit from. They know where they got it from. So they want to learn everything they can from us, and then get out of here, get the fuck out of here. Now, that's why personally, with me, it's a personal thing. I hope Loma does get knocked out. Do I see it happen? I don't think so, but I hope he does get knocked out, and bad.
Wow.
I mean, it's a possibility. My thing is they both are putting a lot more emotion into this situation than I've ever seen before from either guy. So it's like all bets are off when you get two boxers in there and they both got chips on their shoulder and really want to prove a lot and, be the victor. I mean, Kelly, you can tell us about that. I mean, how is it when you get in that ring and you're like, I really don't even like this dude?
How is it when I don't like him?
Yeah.
You don't like him, you try. I mean, it all depends. Sometimes knocking them out is too nice. Sometimes you want to keep them around and fun and beat them up a little bit. So,
okay.
I did that with a couple guys. There were
Damn,
a couple guys talking a little too much shit, and Scott Sigmund was one of them on ESPN. Jalen Rose even was like, he told Teddy Atlas, he's like, Paddle's enjoying this. You don't want to knock him out.
Of course not. Yeah, exactly. Torture their ass.
Dang, I mean, you really wanted to torture him. That's the word I came up with too, Roger. It's like you stand there long and you just want to. I think Bud Crawford does that too sometimes. It's like, he just want to, cause him some pain and embarrass him a little before really could have been had him out like a round before or 2 rounds before. They just want to play around and make them feel like real little.
Oh yeah.
So
make them think twice.
I mean, if Lomo and T.O. both got that kind of in mind, I mean, that makes for fans to have a great fight, but it also makes for like both of them is taking huge risks that they didn't necessarily or wouldn't necessarily do with a different fighter. So
Right.
them emotions make a difference.
I honestly think it's going to be a great fight, and the winners that night are going to be the fans. I mean, everybody's gonna enjoy this fight. I think we're going to talk about it for a while, and at the end of the night, the best man is going to win, and there's only going to be one champion in that weight class, and whoever wins that night deserves it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Ty, I want to talk about something right quick, man, because I got Kelly Pavlik on here, man. He got to hear about this body shot. I mean, it was perfect.
Nah, it was right on the button for sure.
What was going on with you that night? I mean, I saw some real big improvements, and you targeted his body, and it was like it was a technically perfect body shot.
No, it's something I've really tried to work into my game lately. You know, that body work, it just accumulates over time, and sometimes you can't knock a guy out to the head. They've got a good chin, and I watched videos of this guy. He would normally have a high guard, pretty good defense, blocking shots and everything. I didn't see too many openings to the body, but there in that first round, some of those improvements you're talking about, a lot of it's mental, and I was back working my jab, everything else, and I landed a pretty good left hook that stunned him just a little bit, and I saw him bring his guard up, and as soon as he did, I saw that body pop up, so I just touched up top, hit that liver shot, and we joke around. He didn't make the 10 count. He didn't make the 30, 40 count. He didn't get up for a while.
Yeah, that man, he crumbled like, ooh, it was like perfectly where it located at. It was like, it took a second. Like, you know how you had that delayed
there's always that delayed reaction.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple people ask us, like, man, what did you even hit him with? Guys that aren't familiar with boxing. And I've just tried to explain to them that's how that works. You get that delayed reaction, and then it all hits you at once, and it's one of the worst pains.
Yeah, everybody on here, that you can see on the screen knows what a body shot feels like.
Absolutely.
I mean, we actually had people say, "Hey, man, did that guy throw the fight or what?" I mean, he just fell down,
Oh.
But until you felt one, you don't know,
Yeah.
But that guy told us backstage, he said, "I've got 116 fights, never been stopped in the first round,
to the body
never been stopped by a body shot in my life." He's the first one, so.
That whole night was like body shots. Michael Williams Jr. and
Michael got
Mark
some
Rears. It was just body shots all night, man.
It's like y'all all got together and was like huddled like.
Yeah, we planned that backstage. We didn't tell anybody, though.
Y'all watching some Mike McCollum tape?
Well, when we walked out of the ring, we went backstage, and Michael Williams Jr. was about to walk in. They were hollering at Ty saying, "Body snatcher." So maybe we gave him an idea.
Off a little bit.
Now, you know what I like about you guys is that you guys are bringing a lot of people to the sport that was necessarily into boxing before, Ty got into it. And they're such big supporters of you that now, we're getting some new fans out of the
Yeah, there we go. Share the love.
Yeah, share it.
The fan base is growing tremendously. I mean, you start seeing people in New Zealand and other countries sending Ty messages and asking him for autographs. It's pretty amazing.
Hell yeah, absolutely. What y'all send them? Y'all send them something?
Oh, we always do.
We send pictures, we send shirts, everything. We got to make sure everybody gets it right.
Yeah, you a good looking kid, so I can see him working the picture angle.
Well, thank you.
Now, I know you got a fight coming up, so go ahead and give us the information on that real quick, because we're over our time now. We can't keep Kelly up here all night. I don't even know if he had his dinner or not.
November 7th. Well, November 7th, we're going to be in Chattanooga. We're going to be back in Tennessee. We're not going to get to fight in Nashville. We're going to be in Chattanooga on November 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe Billy Blee is a promoter with Southpaw
Promotions, Chattanooga, Tennessee, November 7th. Currently, we got about 250 people traveling with us. We still got a few weeks to sell tickets. So we're going to pack the house like always. It's going to be great. And
You
of course,
send me out everywhere you guys go. Y'all gotta like people flying in from New York and all kinds of places. That's how I
hey,
met you guys. You had brought a bunch of people to the
Yeah,
fight
down in
in
Tampa.
Tampa. Yeah, in Tampa.
well, you think these big promotions would, already
Pick up on that
be
too.
on this guy? I mean,
Hey, we're working on it.
the record speaks for itself, but the following, the people he brings to the fights, it's got to be something, to that.
Oh, you'd be surprised who's watching. They just ready for you to get to that magic number.
Yeah.
They all got this number in their head, the fights they want you to have. So you
Right.
just keep going and pushing yourself and striving for the best. I mean, I know I saw some improvements with that body punch, and I'm sure you got some more things you're working on now.
Oh,
So,
yeah, we're always
just
working.
be patient because sometimes when they come looking for you, it ain't always the best people looking for you. So, Kelly, I'm
Right.
sure you know, I know he got some stories about people messing with your money and everything. Yeah, promoter.
Well, I was fortunate. Nobody messed with the money. My pops was there to take care of that. And it's the
Okay.
reason
That's this right here.
I hadn't had a fight since I retired. Yeah, my pops, just like Tyler, your pops, everything.
Yes, sir.
Those are the ones that truly care and really want you to do well. And I've been fortunate. That's why I'm able with the investments and everything I got going. But on the flip side of that, yeah, you have people out there. I mean, you'll be surprised how sneaky some people are, or how they just want to get into your pocket, or they'll promise you this, that, and everything else. If I wrote, somebody says they can write a book, I can honestly write a book. And I probably ruin a lot of lives too.
One of my favorite episodes of the Punchline with Kelly and James is when you broke down that $1 million, man. Where you showed how that thing go down, and you said you can't afford to buy a $50,000 necklace, even when you make $1 million.
No.
You remember that, Kelly, don't you?
Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, if you have a good financial advisor, they'll call your ass and ask you what the hell you did.
That's a down payment on a house.
Well,
What you need a necklace like that for?
Yeah, put that 50 grand aside for the taxes.
All right, correct. So make sure you catch the Punchline with Kelly and James. You guys are on Sunday still?
Yep. We got this Sunday because of the big fight, but we will be moving to Tuesdays again at 7 because Sundays is big football time, so we don't want to compete with that.
Okay, gotcha. Understood. And make sure you can go back into his archives and find out what happens when you make $1 million as a boxer. Because he breaks it down and he don't even try to sugarcoat it. He shows how many hands be in that cookie jar.
well, yeah.
And then Roger, who you got up next fighting?
I got my guy Patrick Teixeira. He's fighting hopefully at the end of November or beginning of December. Golden Boy hasn't given us our date, but it's our mandatory for the WBO. So we got to defend our title against Brian Castaño. He's a kid from Argentina.
Okay, I know Brian.
Yeah.
Straight ahead fighter. Short. Patrick sparred with him before and beat his ass. So we're just gonna look to whoop his ass and try to get that fight with Charlo next year.
Oh, well, I know who the shit talker is in your camp.
Patrick's a quick guy. Patrick's quiet, and he's like, Coach, you go ahead, you talk. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm good at that.
Let's see. All right. What about your Bellator fighter?
He's looking to fight, I think they said in 2 months, he's fighting Sergio Pettis to defend his Bellator title, and TJ Dillashaw is going to be fighting more than likely in April, his comeback fight. They promised him a title fight. That's what Dana White said. His comeback fight would be a title fight, but I think Peter Yan, I don't know who he's going to fight next. But I mean, if not, it'll be they're trying to set up maybe Cody versus TJ3 or Faber versus TJ. I don't know. It'll be a big fight for TJ for his comeback fight, but he'll be more than ready. He's actually sparring with professional fighters. I've set up sparring sessions, and he's looking great. His boxing skills are coming beautifully, and I think he's going to look good in April. So
that's very interesting. So he could switch over to boxing if he keeps.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, out of a lot of the guys that I've seen from UFC, I mean, not just because I've gotten to work with TJ, but his skill set in boxing and how focused he is and how much he wants to get better each time we work, I think honestly it could carry into boxing very well for him. But we'll see if they let him out of his contract to do a pro fight.
Okay, I can't wait. I hope he switches over to boxing, man. I can't get into MMA that much unless it's a whole stand-up game.
Yeah, that's how I was.
That grappling,
That's exactly how I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger, I can't wait to see Fernando's son fight. That's what I want.
Oh man. You guys make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. Emiliano Fernando Vargas. That's the youngest one. There's two more. Amago. He's the middle one.
Brothers.
He's been sparring. He's been sparring with Shakur Stevenson, and he's been helping Gervonta Davis as well as in this camp. He's doing great. Yeah, and Fernando Vargas Jr. They're all going to be turning pro. Well, them two, Amado and Fernando, are going to be turning pro within the next month or so. But Emiliano is trying to wait for the 2020 games. He wants to gold medal, then he wants to turn pro.
Okay. We would definitely be looking out for the three of them.
I'm sorry, 2024.
That's
2024.
awesome.
I'm sorry.
Did they have any female? Did your brother have any ladies?
Yeah, he has a little girl. Yeah, he has a little girl. Her name's Mibea, but she's not a boxer, but she got hands. Yeah.
Well, I'm always on the lookout for ladies. I love the ladies.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring more attention to the ladies. So every first Thursday of the month, I have ladies' night where I highlight different fighters. So send some my way if any of you guys have someone. I know Ty got a sister that probably could be up there, but she just
yeah, we can get her on. I think she enjoyed that.
yeah, why not? Okay, so we got
we
some
need to get you down here.
Say that again, David.
I said we need to get you down here to Tennessee for this November 7th. He's going to be celebrating his 21st birthday.
Yeah.
We're going to have a
I
big
saw that.
after party. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Hall of Fame weekend.
Yeah,
that
man,
week,
that's
y'all.
the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame weekend.
Oh no, is it really? Man.
Yeah.
November 7th.
So we're gonna have to catch you on the next fight. Ty, you probably like every other month. I mean, every 6 weeks?
Oh god,
We'll
it
text
seems
you,
that way
Ty.
for
We'll
sure,
text you.
doesn't it? Nice.
It
We
seems
were
like it.
right out of one training camp, right into another. I stay ready for a fight, so whenever that phone rings, I'm ready to go.
That's right. That's how you got to do it, Tyler. That's how you got to do it, brother. Keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we got Nato or Nato. He says Tyler's a great kid. Danny
Oh, yeah.
Hayes. He says
Oh, Danny.
Cheatham County, Ashland City.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Danny? We got Crane. He says
Yeah,
I
hey,
will be there to
Crane.
support Ty.
Yeah. They're an awesome sponsor of ours, a new sponsor, and we're so glad to have them on. And hopefully they can make Chattanooga. I see that he says that they're going to be able to. I'm excited to see them.
Yeah, they're on board.
They're awesome.
How many sponsors are y'all up to now? Just curious. Because last time it
We're
was
pushing
32.
it.
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
I remember that number because I'm like, I just want one.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. So I'm going to keep it a secret.
Well, you tell me after the show, because that's how we do. That's we fans.
No, we definitely got some amazing people behind us. What most people don't understand in the sport of boxing, when you first start off, there's no money in it whatsoever. A lot of the fights we've been taking lately are for merely opportunity reasons. When we fought on TV, we didn't get a check for that. So we fought that fight for free. Everybody thinks, man, you're fighting on TV, you're making money. No, we didn't make anything. We just took it for the opportunity.
Not always like that. Don't get me wrong; it's great exposure, and we love those opportunities. And we're going to take all of them that we can get, just to build the fan base and hopefully get in front of some promoters that might possibly want to sign us. But definitely hurts the pocketbook a little bit.
Yeah, if it wasn't for those sponsors, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So we appreciate them. They do this for Ty. And we will repay them one day for it.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about now. That's some loyalty right there. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
None of that funny business that Roger was talking about.
No, absolutely not.
Exactly.
No, we're not going to forget anybody. Everybody that's been with us since day one, this guy right here, he's going to throw the party for all of them one day. You just wait.
Party? I'm ready for the party. Yeah, you know about
Yeah, y'all are there.
We
Consider
ready.
us an invite.
There you go.
You know that.
Hey,
We're
yeah,
going
y'all
too.
are
More than welcome.
Y'all come on.
You're more than welcome.
All right, that's why y'all my peeps. All right, so the last comments, of course, is Matthew says we're gonna get Boxing Playhouse to come to Nashville.
Hey, we'll be there.
Hey, we're working on it, Matt.
Yeah, I'm even sporting the TriStar boxing for Matt tonight.
Okay.
Matt's a local promoter here in Nashville, doing great things. He gave us our first platform for this young man to do what he does, and
He still helps us a lot today. So.
yeah, no, he's in our corner when we're at away. He's just been a blessing for us.
Well, yeah, I like that. Well, we're gonna go ahead and close out the show. Anybody got anything last thing to say, like Kelly?
Hey, no, thanks for having me on, and it was a great conversation. Everybody that's on here, cool as hell. Good luck, Ty. Keep kicking ass, bro.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that,
I'll be keeping an eye
Kelly.
on you. Roger, you're not that good looking. I don't give a and you got to do a little bit more curls. And I'm out.
Just remember, I just beat COVID, so I lost about 12 pounds of muscle, Kelly. But anyway,
Yeah, hit that gym, get it back on.
All right,
I'll get it back
everybody.
on in 2 weeks.
Roger, I think Kelly's being modest. I think he might have had more girls than you back in the day.
Yeah,
I think he's trying to be modest
Kelly.
around here.
Kelly's my brother. Kelly's my brother.
World champion.
Kelly's
Come
my
on,
brother. And I love him to death. I love you, Keltron. You already know that. And thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys for having me on the show. Tyler, man, hey, keep doing your thing, brother. Keep working hard. You know, I know your pops was saying about, you know, not even taking a check, but being on TV. You got to do those things, and you'll be exactly where you want to be if you just stay focused and you keep that camp the same way you have it right there, brother. God bless you, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
No problem, brother. No problem.
So go ahead, everybody. Tell your social media for the fans so everybody can sign up for each other's pages.
Well, thank you to Playhouse for having us again, and hopefully you'll have us after we're 8-0. And big shout out to Shop Media Group. They're the ones that put all this behind us up.
Nice.
You know, they keep us looking good and very professional. So if you need something done in Cheatham County, Shop Media is the way to go. And you follow this young man right here. He can give you his social media. It's growing by the day. So
You got me on Facebook, of course, at Tyler Shortfuse Tomlin, and then Instagram Ty_Tomlin123. So.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, just make sure to tune in, check out the fight November 7th. Of course, everybody local, if y'all can get there. If not, I think there's gonna be a live stream. But I appreciate everybody having me on and everybody for the wise words of advice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready for the next body punch.
Hey, I'm working on it. Who knows? Maybe we'll get another one next time.
I'm a violent woman around here. You know, I like to see pain inflicted.
Well, I've been pretty good at that here lately, so hopefully I can keep on rolling with it.
Okay, definitely. Okay, so Kelly, where can we find your show?
You could find the Punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez on Facebook and YouTube. You can find me on Facebook at Kelly Pavlik or Instagram at pavlik.kelly. And that's about it. I'm simple
Okay,
man.
and Roger, what you got for us?
Roger Romo, simple, on Facebook, on Instagram, Roger_Romo. I post all my fighters, my work. Not too. I don't try to post too much, but you can find me there.
Kelly, what you said the date was for your next fight?
Mine.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I get to Oxnard.
Yeah, exactly.
He said he got a date with our Florida ribs. That's
Oh,
what he said.
Florida
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I do. I'm gonna give me some ribs. Me and Roger are gonna go eat ribs and everything.
Hell yeah.
When I go out to
Sounds like a
Oxnard,
good time after a
me
weight
and
cut.
this this is the first
Thanks
thing me and
everybody
Roger
for
eat.
coming on. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we got to get some Nashville ribs next. That's what I'm working on next.
Hey, we got them.
Pop.
All right.
It's on the
So
list when y'all come visit us.
So thanks for everybody participating tonight. And you can find us at Boxing Playhouse, Twitter, IG, YouTube, Instagram, and our website is also boxingplayhouse.com. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next Thursday. Peace out.
Thank y'all.
Bye.